It snowed that morning. I was in bed when I heard wild thrushes singing outside my window. Mother was washing up in a brass basin, panting softly as she immersed her fair, slender hands in warm milk, as if keeping them lovely were a wearisome chore. She flicked her finger against the edge of the basin, sending tiny ripples skittering across the surface of the milk, and a loud rap echoing through the room. Then she sent for the maid, Sangye Doma. Acknowledging the summons, Sangye Doma walked in carrying another brass basin. She placed the milk basin on the floor, and Mother called out softly, "Come here, Dor-Dor." A puppy yelped its way out from under a cupboard. It rolled around on the floor and wagged its tail at its mistress before burying its head in the basin and lapping up the milk, nearly choking on it. The chieftain's wife, that is, my mother, loved the sound of someone choking on the little bit of love she dispensed. Amid the noise of the puppy greedily lapping up the milk, she rinsed her hands in fresh water and told Doma to check on me, to see if I was awake. I'd had a low-grade fever the day before, so Mother had slept in my room. "Amma," I said, "I'm awake." She came up and felt my forehead with her wet hand. "The fever's gone," she said. Then she left my bedside to examine her fair hands, which could no longer hide the signs of aging. She inspected them every time she completed her morning grooming. Now that she'd finished, she scrutinized those hands, which were looking older by the day, and waited to hear the sound of the maid dumping the water onto the ground. This waiting was always accompanied by fearful anxiety. The cascading water splashing on the flagstones 4 stories below made her quaver, since it produced the shuddering sensation of a body splattering on the hard ground. But today, a thick blanket of snow swallowed up the sound. Still, she shuddered at the moment that the splash should have sounded, and I heard a soft muttering from Doma's lovely mouth. "It's not the mistress hitting the ground." "What did you say?" I asked. Mother asked me, "What did the little tramp say?" She said she has a bellyache." "Do you really?" Mother asked her. I answered for her. It's okay now." Mother opened a jar and scooped out a dab of lotion with her pinky to rub on the back of her hand. Then another pinky brought out lotion for the other hand. A spicy, pungent odor spread through the room. The lotion was made of marmot oil and lard, mixed with mysterious Indian aromatic oils presented to her by the monastery. The chieftain's wife had a natural talent for looking disgusted. She displayed one of those looks now and said, "This stuff actually smells terrible." Sangye Doma offered up an exquisite box containing a jade bracelet for her mistress's left arm and an ivory bracelet for the right. Mother put on the bracelets and twirled them around her wrists. "I've lost more weight." The maid said, "Yes." "Is that all you know how to say?" "Yes, mistress." I assumed the chieftain's wife would slap her, as others might do. But she didn't. Still, fear turned the maid's face red. After the chieftain's wife started downstairs for breakfast, Doma stood by my bed and listened to the descending steps of her mistress. Then she stuck her hand under my bedding and pinched me savagely. "When did I say I had a bellyache? When did I ever have one of those?" "You didn't," I said. "But you'd like to fling the water with even more force next time." That stopped her. I puffed up my cheek, which meant she had to kiss me. "Don't you dare tell the mistress," she said, as my hand slipped under her clothes and grabbed her breasts, a pair of frightened little rabbits. A passionate quiver erupted somewhere deep inside me, or maybe only in my head. Doma freed herself from my hands and repeated, "Don't you dare tell the mistress." That morning, for the first time in my life, I experienced the tantalizing sensation of pleasure from a woman's body. Sangye Doma cursed. "Idiot!" Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I asked her, "Tell me the truth. Who's the real idiot?" "I mean it. A perfect idiot." Then, without helping me dress, she walked off after giving me a nice red welt on my arm like a bird's peck. The pain was absolutely new and electrifying. Snow sparkled brightly outside the window, where the family's servants' brats were whooping it up, throwing rocks at thrushes. But I was still in bed, wrapped snugly in a bearskin quilt and layers of silk, listening to the maid's footsteps echo down the long hallway. Apparently, she had no intention of coming back to wait on me. So I kicked off the quilt and screamed. Within the territory governed by Chieftain Mai Chi, everybody knew that the son born to the chieftain's second wife was an idiot. That idiot was me. Except for my mother, just about everybody liked me the way I was. If I'd been born smart, I might have long since departed this world for the Yellow Springs, instead of sitting here and thinking wild thoughts over a cup of tea. The chieftain's first wife had taken ill and died. My mother was bought by a fur and medicinal herb merchant as a gift to the chieftain, who got drunk and then got her pregnant. So I might as well be happy going through life as an idiot. Still, within the vast area of our estate, there wasn't a single person who didn't know me. That's because I was the chieftain's son. If you don't believe me, become a slave or the brilliant son of a commoner, and see if people know who you are. I am an idiot. My father was a chieftain ordained by the Chinese emperor to govern tens of thousands of people. It snowed that morning, the first snow of spring. Only spring snows are moist and firm, able to resist the wind. Only spring snows blanket the earth so densely that they gather up all the light in the world. Now, all the light in the world was gathered on my silk coverlet. Worried that the silk and the light would slip away, I felt pangs of sorrow flow warily through my mind. As beams of light pierced my heart like awls, I began to sob. I was 3 months old at the time, and Mother was anxiously awaiting for a sign from me that I knew I'd arrived in this world. I was firm about not smiling during the first month. During the second month, no one was able to elicit a flickering of understanding from my eyes. My father, the chieftain, said to his son in the same tone of voice he used to give orders, "Give me a smile, will you?" He changed his gentle tone when he got no reaction. "Give me a smile," he said sternly. "Smile, do you hear me?" He looked so funny that I opened my mouth, but only to drool. My mother looked away, tears wetting her face as she was reminded that my father looked just like that on the night I was conceived. This memory so rankled her that her milk dried up on the spot. A baby like this is better off starving to death. Now I'd grown to the age of 13. I looked out from my bed onto a patch of terrifyingly blue sky framed by the small window. I couldn't see how the heavy snow weighed down the branches until she propped me up. The thrushes had flown down from the mountain. Thrushes are wild around here. No one knows where they go when the sky is overcast, but on clear days they come out to sing, their voices sweet and clear. Not much good at flying, they prefer to glide down from the heights. They don't normally come to low places, except on snowy days when it's difficult to find food in their usual habitat. The snow forces the thrushes to come down from the mountain where people live. People kept coming in for instructions while Mother and I were eating breakfast. First, it was the crippled steward who came to inquire whether the young master wanted to change into warm boots before going out to play in the snow. He said that if the master were home, he'd want me to. "Get lost, you cripple," my mother said. "Hang that pair of worn-out boots around your neck and get lost." The steward left, of course, but didn't hang the boots around his neck, nor did he get lost. A while later, he limped in to report that the leper who'd been chased up the mountain from the fortress had come down looking for food. "Where is she now?" Mother asked anxiously. "She fell into a wild boar trap on the way. She can crawl out." "She can't. She's crying for help." "Then why don't you bury her?" "Bury her alive?" "I don't care. We can't have a leper storming onto our estate." Then came the matter of giving alms to the monastery, followed by a discussion of sending seeds to the people who tilled our land. Charcoal burned bright in a brass brazier, and before long,